How's everybody doing today? I'm going to tell you why you should be purchasing a PlayStation 1 Classic for the new price of $60. In the beginning, when the PlayStation 1 Classic was announced, we were told that there was going to be 20 preloaded games, much like the Super Nintendo Classic. The only problem was we only had a handful of actual titles selected when it was first announced. Much later, when they released the final 20 list of games that would be preloaded onto this little console, the internet went ablaze and there was a lot of controversy about which games were and were not on the list. When the PlayStation Classic first launched, it was $100 retail price. The steep price point coupled with the already unhappy fan base led to where we are now, and they are selling this for $60. Now, to get this going, my first reason is simple, and that is value. We're going to look at the 20 preloaded games that are on this console and compare them to the price they are being sold digitally on the PlayStation Store. Some games that come on the PlayStation Classic are currently not being sold on the PlayStation Store, so you're going to have to take that value into consideration when I tell you this. However, when you do look at the games that are being sold on the PlayStation Store currently, like the ones you see now, that cost is easily over $120. That cost, coupled with the cost of the games not on the PlayStation Store, like Ballerina, the original Grand Theft Auto, it probably increases a lot more, because how are you going to play those games? You're going to have to find an original PlayStation. You're going to actually have to find that game on eBay or Amazon, pay for shipping. You have time to wait. You know, all of that stuff goes into consideration. Now, this is $60 now, okay? So that's an undeniable value. So if you're looking to play these games, this is the best way to play them at the cheapest price. You also get 2 controllers, which leads me into my next argument. You may think this is my best reason of the whole video, okay? And that is, you bought an NES Classic, the classic console that started it all. That too was $60. Yes, 30 games, but 10 of those games you'll probably never play except maybe once, if once, right? So this has 20 games. You may not play 5 of these games, but there's a lot of great games on here still. This has Metal Gear Solid, the first Resident Evil, the first Rayman, Rainbow Six, Final Fantasy VII, and this comes with 2 controllers, which the NES did not. So I think if you found logic enough to get an NES Classic, then there is more than enough logic to get a PlayStation Classic. I told you that was a good one, right? You're sitting there, you're looking at your NES Classic that you don't play, and you're like, wow, I did spend $60 on that, and I would love to play Metal Gear Solid. I would love to play Resident Evil, the director's cut, before the Resident Evil 2 remake. $60, 2 controllers, great games, okay? Same thing, you know, poor argument. If you have an NES Classic and you hate this thing, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't understand. Getting to my third reason why you should own this PlayStation Classic at a lower price of $60 is, if you're a PlayStation fan, this is a must-have. It's adorable. It could sit next to your old PlayStation 2 that's still on standby mode. It could sit next to your PlayStation 1. It could sit next to your NES Classic, okay? You could play Twisted Metal with your homies, okay? You could go ahead and play Tekken 3 with your best friend again, just like you were 9 years old. If you are about the symbols, then this is a nostalgic must-have. Add this to your collection. Because I know a lot of you out there live and breathe by, you know, PlayStation is the best place to play. And I understand why. So go and get this and relive those classic PlayStation memories that turned you into the PlayStation fan you are today. Now I'm on to the fourth reason, and this is the reason why I enjoy having the PlayStation Classic. And it's simple, folks. It's a conversation starter. You have friends over, people that play games, people that don't play games anymore, that used to play games. This is sitting next to your console, next to your other classics, or maybe it's your only classic, maybe it's sitting next to your PlayStation 4, and people are like, oh, how cool. That's the PlayStation Mini. Let's turn it on. Let's see what there is. There's a game in this that they've probably played before. And it's that party machine. It's that thing on the shelf that people talk about, and it's a big reason to have classic consoles, period. One argument that I can make across all the classic console systems is that these are great to have to show your friends off when you have people over, and play them when you have people over. Maybe you don't play these on your own. Maybe you have other stuff to play, but these are great for parties, for hangout sessions, and I really think that that's where classic consoles live the best at. Now this is it. This is the fifth and final reason. It's the most important reason, really. It could bind us all together. The haters, the lovers, people in between. We could all buy this for the same common cause, right? Other than the 4 great reasons I just gave you, if you're not sold yet, I hope this final reason sells you. And that reason is, we still all want a PS2 classic mini console. Now, to the people that feel burned, okay, I get it. Maybe they didn't have the mascots that you wanted, the JRPGs that you wanted. Maybe you wanted a analog controller. Maybe you wanted just more features. Whatever you wanted, okay, there's a great chance that they learn from this mistake and we get a great PS2 classic. But that does not happen if we don't buy these. That does not happen if they don't think that there is a market for it. So really put some thought into buying the PlayStation Classic, okay? Let all the haters get blocked out for a moment and just try to think about what I told you today on why you should purchase this. Now, if you only have $60 and you want to play Kingdom Hearts 3 or Resident Evil 2 Remake, I mean, I understand. You could only spend so much money in video games. But if you do have the money and you have been on the edge of buying the PlayStation Classic, really think about it, okay? This is maybe a future investment, and really maybe all of these mini consoles are future investments, right? Maybe since this didn't sell, this becomes some sort of limited run collector's item that there wasn't very many made. Who knows? But if these 5 reasons didn't get you to buy the PlayStation Classic, I don't think anything will. There's no hope for you. But seriously, think about it. I'm glad you joined me today. If you haven't, okay, add us on Instagram. GBW Podcast, okay? This is youtube.com/geeksbetweenworlds, the place where you could find all the Geeks Between Worlds content. It's 2019 and we're making a lot of changes, so look forward to that. And as always, GBW out.